Hi everyone, welcome to Dividends, the program for and about your College of Business. Have a great program today. A little later on, a student's going to tell us about his idea to shed light globally to nightlife around the world. But we'll start with Jeff Adkerson, who has one of the best jobs on campus. He is the director of the PGA Golf Management program in the College of Business at State. And welcome.
Thank you.
First of all, this is a lot more than just golf, because when we think about your job, we think, oh, he just gets to golf all the time, but it's really about a lot more than that.
Absolutely. Our students manage facilities around the country, actually around the world. We've got graduates all over the world. Golf facilities, equipment manufacturing companies, or sales reps, tournament administration, growth of the game initiatives, instruction. They own their own companies. So yeah, there's a lot more to the game than just playing. Golf is a $78 billion a year industry here in the U.S. and the business skills that are taught in the College of Business to our students pay huge dividends to them throughout their career.
Well, tell us about the evolution of the program, because we were one of the first in the country, weren't we?
Correct. We were the second one. Started in 1985. Dr. Roland Jones and Luther Epting. Luther was over the Career Center, but they worked together with the PGA of America to bring our program in 1985. And over the years, we've had students, I think, from every state but Hawaii. Actually, I'm sorry, Alaska. Alaska is the only state we haven't had a student from over the years.
It's a narrow window. I imagine the golf season up there is a pretty narrow
tight
window.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
But you could play all, what,
24 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting to see the diversity of our students from around the country. Currently, we have about 21 states represented in the program. So it's a nice blend of backgrounds for our students to learn from each other.
How good of a golfer do you have to be to get in the program? How important is that piece?
Sure, it's a very significant part. It gives credibility to you as a professional when you go out and work in the field. Students have to have an 8 or better handicap to be admitted into the program. And during the course of the time that they're enrolled, they have to pass a PGA of America playing examination, where they go out and play 36 holes in a given day and have to shoot a target score in order to pass. And so,
is that pretty nerve-wracking for them?
Very much so. It's like going in and taking the exam today and saying that you have to make a 92-day on the exam.
Okay, but the course you play on has some bearing there. So where do they play this? Do they know the course they're going to be playing on?
They do. We host it at the University Golf Course twice a year, once in the fall, once in the spring, and we have a very extensive player development program to help them prepare for that.
And how many women are involved, and have you seen that number change over the years?
It fluctuates. Currently we have 6 women enrolled in the program. We've had probably 30 to 35 that have graduated from the program. The challenge that we have there is the handicap requirement to be admitted into the program. And as a young lady playing golf, if you have that type of ability, you're getting a lot of scholarship offers to go play for a university. And so they're having to forego that playing opportunity to choose a career path. And we've been very fortunate, and our women students, they're phenomenal students. They do a great job and are very, very competent in the field, but they're also in high demand. We get a lot of internship opportunities for them, and graduates, employers are calling constantly looking for young ladies that are graduating the program.
Well, it's an interesting dynamic, I would think. There are a lot more male golfers and female golfers, and I'm curious as to how male golfers would take instruction from female golf pros. I know some of the golfers I play with don't want any advice from anyone, let alone a woman who's much better telling them how to play. Do they have to overcome any of these?
To some extent, maybe, if they go into the teaching arena, but a lot of them also go into other areas of the business, from an administrative standpoint to merchandising to obviously the instructional component. We have one recent graduate. She's working in an instructional component, but she also has a food and nutrition background and a fitness background with it. And so she's leading the junior program at this the facility that she's at, and she's really grown the women's game at that facility. So we see a lot of employers calling, if a young lady is interested in the instructional track, they call looking for them because they can really grow that demographic of golfer.
Well, and you talked about some of the other skill sets that are necessary. Golf is just to get you in the door, but you have to learn how to run the pro shop and I guess just getting along with the members of your country club or whatever has got to be, there's a challenge there.
Absolutely. You know, golf, people come to the golf course and they want it to be a place of enjoyment. And so it's our job as the professional to provide that welcoming feel to them. And so as they come out, obviously being able to determine what kind of a day they've had before you ever interact with them, to provide that experience that they're looking for, that they're paying for, is important. Not to mention the fact that you're also working with your staff. You got to make sure that you can deal with those personalities.
Well, we appreciate you coming by and telling us about it, and congratulations. It is a very well-respected, well-regarded program, so that starts at the top.
Well, thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
We'll take a break. Be back with more in just a moment.
There are a number of student activities that students can get involved with, but few of them know that they can start a company while they're in school. We want students to consider that when they come to school here, they have 4 years to create themselves a job, create a new venture, and that's really what the center's here to provide. We're here to provide the resources, connections, and programs that can help them start a company. The background of our students is extremely diverse. All across campus, students are getting involved, forming these companies, and people, all sorts of different backgrounds, coming together to create these startups that are just doing amazing things. Regardless of where you're at in the entire startup process, whether you're coming in with a fresh idea, already have an established company, or just are trying to get interested in entrepreneurship, we want to put students in a position where they feel encouraged and supported to pursue their passions so they can make an impact no matter what field or industry they go into.
So you have an idea. It's exciting, it's original, it's genius. And you think it could be the next big thing. But how do you turn this idea into reality? At the Entrepreneurship Center, we will guide you through every step of the entrepreneurial process and help along the way, from developing and enhancing your idea to building your product and bringing it to market. Our programs will help refine your idea and connect you with other creative individuals. You can collaborate with students and discover their brilliant ideas, learn from expert faculty and accomplished business leaders, and even receive money to expand your venture and start your own company. Whether your idea is a revolutionary product, app, or service, we can help. The Entrepreneurship Center at Mississippi State University. From invention to innovation, it starts here.
We love showcasing our entrepreneurs on dividends, and this is no exception. We have Hagan Walker here with us, who came up with he and his partner came up with a very, very unique idea. I'm going to let him tell you all about it. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, give us the backstory on Glo.
There's a lot to it. Kaylie, my partner, actually started this project in one of her graphic design classes, and from that point forward, we've just been running with it.
What's the concept? What's the premise?
So Glo is a small liquid activated module that you drop in a drink, and it automatically lights up, and we also have a version that releases flavor. So the one you're holding is actually shaped like a small cowbell for Mississippi State, but we can make them any shape that we want to, and you know, it has a lot of practical applications, anything from helping a server to see when someone needs a refill, to even going into the medical market and helping children's pediatrics and things like that.
Well, and that caught my eye because one of my kids hates taking medicine.
Sure.
And I imagine, particularly in a children's hospital where there's lots of medicines daily, you give the kid a glass of water, you drop this in, it lights up, releases the medicine. Better chance they're going to drink it.
Definitely, definitely.
So this started as an idea between the two of you, and then how did the E-Center come into play?
So the E-Center has been a massive help. We actually won E-Week 2015 last year. So the E-Center has not only helped us with funding, but just advice, you know, just speaking with you and speaking with Eric Hill and really getting the groundwork laid to continue going forward. We now have an office over in the Research Park here at Mississippi State.
And most important, you have orders. You've
Yes.
got folks buying the product.
We do, we do.
I know you tried them out at a couple of bars and folks loved them. And then I just was at a huge wedding at Waverly, and everybody, including one of our senator's chiefs of staff, was walking around with a lit drink.
Yeah.
Well, let's show folks how it works.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is just a glass of water. It can go in any beverage. And I brought, and of course, this is a cowbell, and you drop it in,
Yeah.
and you can see it's lighting up and it's changing colors. Of course, it's pretty bright here in the studio.
Look at that.
Yeah, and it'll just color cycle through a bunch of different
So
colors.
yeah, imagine you're in a nice dimly lit bar, and there's 50 or 60 of these going off and changing colors at the same time.
Sure.
It really adds I don't know, just a nice ambiance to the place. And for an outdoor wedding, it was just really neat.
Weddings, concerts. We've been in talks with Carnival Cruise Lines. These would look awesome on a cruise. You know, we can really picture it in a lot of venues. So that's really cool from a sales point of view.
So who came up with the idea? What was somebody sitting around? Was it how'd that all happen?
So Kaylie, my partner, she, you know, wanted to come up with their goal was to create a conceptual company, and Kaylie, being as driven as she is, decided to come up with a real company instead. And this was just something that came to her one night, and she brought me in early on.
Why'd she bring you in?
To help with the engineering side of it. I'm an electrical engineer that graduated in December from Mississippi State. So that's where I came in, and you know, since that first week, we've been doing this almost a year now, so it's exciting.
And you found a place that produces them now, so
Sure.
you're taking orders. Are you shipping them out? I know you've done the wedding and some other odds and ends, but are you guys up and running and pushing out product?
Yeah, definitely. We're hoping to be at some of the athletics events here in the fall, which will be really exciting. But yeah, we have 3 factories on board, and of course there's a lot of back-end stuff there that we didn't anticipate, you know, being certified, FDA, and you know, all these other acronyms that you have to go through to make sure that your product is safe and things like that. So that's one of the biggest standpoints, is that we, you know, inform people when they buy these that, you know, these are assembled in the USA, they're safe, non-toxic, all that kind of stuff.
And you're also looking at possibly branding these. I know you mentioned
Sure.
that with Carnival, and I talked to Boyce Adams, who bought the product for his wedding, and he thought you could put the names of the couple,
Sure,
the bride and groom on
definitely.
that, and that might be a good promotion.
Yeah, we can print logos. We can also make different shapes. So you saw the cowbell, but we can make whatever shape you want. So
Fantastic. So you're out in the market now,
yes.
and your plan is for world domination. And
Well, we got our first production run order a week and a half ago, and we're approaching $10,000 in sales. So.
Great.
In a week and a half, I think that's pretty good.
Well, it's fantastic. It's fantastic, and I'm glad you took the time out to come talk with us. And that's going to do it for this edition of Dividends. Cheers, everyone.